Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
Welcome, everybody. Kevin Jackson here. It's the Kevin Jackson Show. KJRadio.com. You can find out more about us also by calling the show. Leave us a message. Tell us what you like, what you don't like. If you get on air, great. We'd love to have you on air. Have people, Kevin, I want to call in. Love to have you. 844-551-8255. And what I can vouch for, and people that do call the show know that we do contact you. I contact. Kevin, is this really you? Yeah, it's me. Spending countless hours doing this stuff. And I would love to have minions that do a lot of this stuff for me, because Lord knows it's keeping me out of the gym. It's keeping me away from my family and friends and taking a vacation every now and then. But you know what? It's worth it. I want to talk for a minute about why some people seek pain. You've heard of them called masochists, and they are. Now, there are masochists, and then there are troublemakers. There are people that have to have strife in their life. It's probably akin to masochism. I don't know all the psychological nonsense that goes with it, but there are people who cannot have life running on the up and up. They've got to be, things have to be disruptive for them to feel like some level of comfort. And so that's where we are in this nation. We've got a group of people who need to feel something. They've never been made to feel anything. And I'm going to get to what I mean in just a second, because I know you may be having trouble understanding. You do know the saying, in order for something, for you to appreciate the good, you got to understand the bad. A little, a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. Or maybe you understand it this way, that in order to enjoy sugar, you got to have a little hint of salt. You get what I'm saying? I know there's a perfume manufacturer. I watched this show about him, and he said, in order for a perfume to smell good, it has to have a little bit of musk. Musk by itself is kind of it smells musky. My grandmother used to say, I don't like musky smells. She preferred floral. But the best perfumes in the world have a scent, just a touch of a scent in it that you can't stand. And it gives you that ability to discern the wheat from the chaff, right? That's the way life is. In order for you to appreciate something that's happening that's good, you got to have a reference. And if the reference point is, man, it's all good, woohoo, then you don't have that reference point. And I'll use black folks as an example. I've said this many times. You can't appreciate a meal unless you've had a hungry belly. And I'm not talking about, I'm hungry, I'm going to go get something to eat. I'm talking about I'm hungry and I'd like to get something to eat, but there isn't anything to eat. Then you can really appreciate hunger. You can't, it's like these people that believe themselves to be poor, and they're like, yeah, man, I was so poor, one time I had to sell my Rolex. You really? I had a guy say that to me. Yeah, man, I had to put my Rolex in. I had to hawk my Rolex to get enough money to do blankety blank. And then, a year later, I got my Rolex out. Really? Okay. So that's your definition of poverty, is you at one point had the watch worth thousands of dollars that you had to hawk. I had to sell my boat. Yeah, things got so bad for me, I had to sell my boat. Wow, what was that boat worth? The guy, I sold it for a song. Guy gave me $20,000 for it, but it was worth $80,000. Okay, so yeah, you were struggling. You get what I'm saying? This is how America got here, folks. We don't know what strife is. We've got a generation of kids who have never struggled. They weren't forced to go to war. They've been given everything. You could not give the millennials anything more. The only way you can give them more is if you'd have to be a fool. You have nothing left to give. You've given them the best technology. You've given them the best access to education. Forget college. You don't have to know jack anymore. Somebody asks you a question, you go, give me a second. You Google it. Theory of relativity? Well, let me just tell you what it's all about. And you read it. You don't have to know anything. We have tapped into the human genome. We know things about the human body that men years ago, they look stupid now in comparison. We're still celebrating the Edison doing the light bulb. Now we got LED lights. We don't even need filament. I mean, you get what I'm saying? These people haven't had to struggle. The most millennials have to worry about is, did they put soy milk or low-fat milk in my coffee? Because it tastes a little different today. Really. I call them, it's a generation of nail biters and bedwetters. Take your pick. But here's the thing, folks. They want to feel something. They want to feel strife. They're ashamed not to know pain. They don't realize this, but that's what it's all about. They don't know pain. They look at the past generations who have suffered, and all they can relate to is, the worst thing they face on a daily basis is maybe they're flying and they go, or they're somewhere and they're like, dang it, I got to pay for my broadband. I'm not paying for my broadband. I'll go somewhere where it's free. Oh, the atrocity of it. You got to get up and go somewhere where broadband is free. So we get the Kaepernicks, these young so-called black kids that want to feel something, man. They want to be part of the struggle, like the 1960s Black Panthers, who had a legitimate beef with the Democrats who were oppressing black people. And then there's the white kids that want to feel by proxy. They want to feel that white guilt by way of these young blacks who have never struggled for anything, who are feeling of it by proxy through their ancestors that went through it in the 60s. They want to feel it, man. So they got Antifa struggling. Everything is against the man. College is giving them everything. College is free, and they still are upset. It wouldn't matter. Like my grandmother said, you gotta give her she could have a ham under each arm, and she'd be mad she ain't got no bread. That's exactly what's going on. They got to feel, man. And you can't tap into that emotion because you're outraged. You haven't been through any of this. You want to talk about getting beat down by cops? I'll show you getting beat down by cops. Let's go back to the 60s. These people, the cop stopped me once, man, and he wrote me a ticket and he was all, writing tickety and stuff, and then, man, I don't know. I was totally oppressed. I was scared for my life. He asked me to sign the ticket and said, this is not an admittance of guilt. But I was like, man, I don't know. So I ran. We got a lot to talk about today, man. Woo! We got a lot to talk about. We'll be back in just a bit. Keep it here, folks. Kevin Jackson.
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
Do you owe back taxes to the IRS or state? The secret to avoiding the IRS nightmare is to seek professional representation. My friends at Security Tax Associates provide the most cost-effective and ethical representation in the industry while helping to avoid seizures, levies, and wage garnishments. Security Tax Associates is here to ensure that the appropriate steps are taken to permanently eliminate any possibility of future tax burdens once and for all. For a free, no-obligation consultation, contact Security Tax Associates, 844-779-4177. That's 844-779-4177. 844-779-4177. Or visit them at securitytaxassociates.com.
Beth Cook Moranville, author of Closer Than Your Breath, a book of hope.
Hope, that wonderful, wonderful 4-letter word that you may feel completely out of. I wrote this book to give you great hope. It's not too late. If fetal position is an all too familiar place for you, I understand. If the next 60 seconds are too long, this book is for you. Wherever you are right now, whether you're dealing with divorce or death or sickness, take hope. You are going to make it through this pain. Don't roll your eyes. I've walked this road and I know it. The best is yet to come.
Closer Than Your Breath, a book of hope from author and speaker Beth Cook Moranville, can be found on Amazon.com or Kindle.com. For more information, visit closerthanyourBreath.com or on Facebook at Closer Than Your Breath.
Jackson Radio Show.
Bienvenidos, mi amigos. C'est Kevin Jackson. Glad you can be with me today. You know why I'm feeling this way? Because I feel like the NFL is going to end up only on Univision. Oh, my. Hello, we've got Roger Goodell. Roger. Oh, my goodness. The NFL, man, will they learn? Will these people learn? Glad you guys are with me. Kevin Jackson Radio, KJRadio.com. If you want to call the show, 844-551-8255. Patriots and Buccaneers played on Thursday. 9.4 rating, 15.4 million viewers on CBS and the NFL Network. Down 11% in the ratings and 12% in viewership from the second CBS simulcast last season, which was the Texans and the Patriots. Had a little higher numbers. Down 10% and 9% respectively from the second simulcast in 2015. So it's dropping. And here's the good news. There is some good news for Roger Goodell. Yes, finally I can give Roger some good news. Roger, eventually the numbers won't be as big when it drops, because when you get so low, you can't keep the big numbers. You know, dropping 10, 12, 15%, 19, 17% will eventually go down to 2, 3%. The problem is you're going to be out of a job. Roger Goodell will be gone. Or as my grandpa would say, gone like a turkey through the cone. And he deserves it. Last week's Week 5 Thursday night football game, last year's rather, 49ers versus the Cardinals on CBS NFL Network. Ratings increased 27% from 7.4 viewership to 28% from 12.1 million. So it went up 27% last year. Now, I don't know where we were in the whole Kaepernick thing. Don't know, don't care. I know this, even though the sport was suffering, it went up on Thursday night. I don't know what was going on, but it's way down now. Way down. And get this. They said the Patriots' narrow win, which peaked with 17.8 million viewers, had a streaming audience of 525,000 on Amazon Prime, and the various CBS and digital platforms up 32% from the Texans Patriots last year. The combining TV and streaming audience of 16 million trailed last year by 11%. So let me translate, because that's a lot of ciphering and calculating going on in that. What they're saying is, even adding 500,000 people from Jeff Bezos' Amazon to the mix, baby, they still were down 11%. But like I said, Roger, the good news is coming, baby, because when you get so low, you can't drop so high. You get what I'm saying? You can't kill yourself jumping off a 1-foot ladder. Not really. I mean, it's tough. And do I have any sympathy for the NFL? Heck to the no. I have zero sympathy for these clowns. We were talking about Michelle Obama making that statement about white men over there doing what they do. White men built this country, gave us beautiful people, some white, some other colors, right? White men have built an amazing nation along with everybody else. And she's over there talking about white men while she loving on Harvey Weinstein. We'll talk about that. White men. Michelle Obama, who served as the First Lady of the United States. I'm going to get back to football in a second. Y'all will see how I wrap this up. Serves as First Lady, her husband, President. And she starts out the block. For the first time in my adult life, I'm proud to be an American. That was the first time. Then she serves as First Lady for 8 years, gets out of office, and the first thing she does is start criticizing white folks. White Republicans, of course. Still rich. Richer than when she got into the Oval Office. Michelle Obama and Barack Obama weren't worth $5 million. Not that that's a little bit of money. And it took a white dude writing a book for them. And then they leave. They get multi-millions of dollars in book deals and all these different things. They're worth probably close to $100 million now. And the first thing she does is talk about how she was oppressed. Do you guys recall when Will Smith's wife said, it's crazy up here, it's racist in Hollywood, we are oppressed? Dude makes $20 million a film, had just signed a $120 million deal with Netflix, and didn't get a trophy, and she's oppressed. Hollywood is oppressing her family. Where's my trophy? Viola Davis gets Best Woman something, some BS award for How to Be a Murderer or some show that she's got. And what does she get up there and say? I'm making all this money. I got my trophy and I'm still oppressed. Which brings me back to these football players making millions and millions of dollars annually, standing in front of their multi-million-dollar homes, their $100,000+ vehicles, wearing watches and jewelry worth, tens if not hundreds of thousands of dollars. And they say, we are oppressed. Really? Well, you know what the football audience is saying to you guys, to all these people, all these naysayers, all these negative people about America, these anti-Americans that want you to believe that you are the bad guys. You are saying, you know what? I'm not quite feeling your oppression. I'm not quite understanding it. Thursday night football game had a 5.0 rating in adults 18 to 49, down 18% from last year, 17% from 2015. Easily the night's top program on television, more than doubling the second place finishers, ABC's Grey's Anatomy. Woohoo! That's the way they have to spin it now. You want to talk about Sunday's stuff? Sunday football? Down. Another dip, a 3% dip from last week's Sunday night football game. This is just talking about the Sunday night game. And this one was a close one. This one was a barn burner. But they still couldn't get the audience. The regular games, go do yourself a favor. Go look for the ratings of the NFL. They don't tell. It's tough to find. It's becoming tougher to find than news on Barack Obama and his beating up of ISIS. You couldn't find that news. It doesn't exist. There are no good ratings for the NFL. Go back and look at week 1. It was already negatives. A lot of negatives. A couple of games that were up. By week 4, there were only 2 games in the positive. One was the Dallas Cowboys because everybody thought Jerry Jones was going to do the right thing on that Monday night football game, and he didn't. This week, I haven't seen the chart because you can't find it. But I bet you it's completely red. I gave you the numbers, down 12% and 11% respectively in viewership and ratings. But let me tell you, it's going to get worse. But like I said to Roger, it just ain't going to get quite as worse. Anyway, we got a lot to talk about. Back in a bit.
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show. This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
I want to start by thanking Harvey Weinstein for organizing this amazing day. Harvey. This is possible because of Harvey. He is a wonderful human being, a good friend, and just a powerhouse.
Oh, yes, he is. Welcome, everybody. Kevin Jackson here. It's Kevin Jackson Show. That, of course, was racist Michelle Obama, who, by the way, is afraid of white men. When she looks across the aisle over there, and I see all those see all them white men, I get scared. I get scared up in her. They scare me. I know she's not that ghetto. Don't y'all look at me like that, man. Come on. We're just having fun at the expense of racist Michelle Obama. But she does like Harvey Weinstein. Now, I don't know whether it's because Harvey's Jewish white. Do Jewish white people count? I can ask you, Shaq. You're Jewish. Do Jewish count as white people? I don't think people make a distinction. I don't believe the boys in the hood, if you were to be driving through looking for your drugs, okay, I don't think they're going to make a distinction. What do you think, Brett? See, that's what I'm saying, man. They for them, you're a white boy. You're a white boy. Yeah, see, the left, man, I got to tell you, this whole thing, Weinstein is he's just starting to get people to touch him. Jimmy Kimmel actually fired back at Donald Trump Jr. at, his tweet that, hey, where's your monologue on Harvey Weinstein and all his sexual harassment of women, the war on women? Hey, Gloria Steinem, where are you? Hey, Ashley Judd, where are you? Hey, Hillary Clinton, where are you? We see where Michelle Obama is. She's extolling the virtues of Harry because without him, whatever she was at would not have been possible. I don't believe that. I believe that they could have gotten some other lecherous leftist to do whatever that Harvey was making impossible happen, right? They want you to believe these people are great. Look at how many Oscars he's won, Kevin. You're being cruel, Kev. He's won lots of Oscars. I know. And now, as I said on the show the other day, they're wondering, will he win another one? That's the big buzz. It isn't, who has he hurt? What lives has he devastated? Who else will come forward? If it were a Republican or some big name conservative, you better know they'd be running out the litany of chicks that Donald Trump, that George Bush, that Ronald Reagan molested, or it would be one time he looked at me. Did you hear that, people? He looked at her. And she knew what that look was all about. That look was not the ordinary look. That look was not a look of I want to help you. That was a look of lust. It was a look of greed. It was a look of power. The power that he could exercise over her. Man, I'm flowing today. I need to do a rap because I'm flowing. I'm spitting, as they say in the rap business. But it's true. Am I lying? Look, if a Republican did anything close, give me a business. Tillerson, okay, Secretary of State Tillerson. If they found out that while at Mobile, he had a casting couch for administrative assistants, and there were decades, 2-3 decades of women that the worst case I've ever seen, and I don't know this guy's politics, was a guy named Hans. What was Hans's last name? He worked at Compaq Computer, and he was brought in by a German guy that took over for Rod Canyon. Anyway, Hans was the CFO or the COO of Compaq. I think he was a CFO, the financial officer. And his name was Hans. God, can I remember his last name? And I would think I'd never forget it because I was so involved in it. But they called him Hans. When you went to the office of the Compaq, the women there, when you would say Hans Weber or whatever his name was, I can't remember, but they would go, "Oh, you mean Hans?" That's what they would say. Dude had a rep. So they dismissed him, and he had multiple sexual harassment charges. He was just a serial sexual harasser. And probably, was a leftist. I can't speak to his politics. But what I can tell you is, in this case, to give me a company run by a Republican where that would happen, where you could get away with what this guy got away with for decades in plain view. It's like JFK. They just pretended. JFK is messing around on Jackie, with impunity. Everybody knew it. And there's Jackie, who's the darling. Jackie is the darling of America. And they would not spill the beans. Now, in this day and time, when media, especially the media like the National Enquirer, National Enquirer, whatever, all these, the Globe, these places. Try to imagine the power you must exert over people that even those magazines won't bother you. They won't touch you. They said that this story got stuffed 14 years ago or so when a New York Times, 2004, 13 years ago, 2004, a New York Times reporter tried to break this story on Harvey Weinstein. And Matt Damon and many others, don't you bother Harvey. You better leave Harvey alone, man. Harvey's our guy. And you just heard what Michelle Obama said. She loved him, but she didn't love other white guys. We got that clip?
Side of the room, it's literally gray and white. Literally, that's the color palette on one side of the room. On the other side of the room, there's yellows and blues and whites and greens. Physically, there's a difference in color, in the tone. Wow. Because one side, all men, all white. On the other side, some women, some people of color.
Hey, Michelle, I think I see Harvey over there. Harvey over here. Harvey over there. You know what's funny? She says the shade of color on the other side is gray and white. She's actually doing a shout out to old people. She's dissing old people, but nobody said a word. If a Republican said something about gray and white, dude, what's the gray? Oh, gray hair. Oh, look at him. Look at him being all Mr. I'm not about the old people. It's a wonder why they don't kill old people. They want to push us off the mountain, kick us off the curb, all that, right? Throw grandmother off the train. That's what they'd be saying. Michelle Obama is talking about white people, white men in one voice, then comes over to the other side, doesn't even acknowledge white people, doesn't acknowledge old people with gray. She could at least have said, we have gray and white. But we also have, which by the way would have still been a lie, because we had the same people. We have more diversity in the Republican Party than they do. And I'll tell you what else we have. We have more men of character. We have more men of character in one sitting than the entire Democratic Party has in their entire party. Go to any event. Go to an event, an old veterans event. You will have more men of character in one room with less than 100 conservative men than you'll have in the entire Democratic Party. The Democratic Party is made up of Weinsteins, and it's made up of people who support the Weinsteins of the world. That's what it's made up of. We got a clip of Corey, what's his face, I think. Did we do that clip? Well, if we don't have it, we'll find it because I know we have it. And Corey Feldman is explaining all of that goes on in Hollywood with these leftists who are nothing more than predators, folks. They get power beyond belief. It's the power to shut down the media. It's the power to make presidents kneel at your feet and first ladies do more. It's that kind of power. It's the power that Donald Trump is immune to. They can't get to him. Here's what Trump said on Weinstein.
And is headed to North Carolina right now for a fundraiser to support the RNC. But on his way to Marine One, he had quite a bit to say on a number of different topics.
I've known Harvey Weinstein for a long time. I'm not at all surprised to see it.
That's pretty telling, isn't it? Welcome back, everybody. Kevin Jackson here. Pretty telling. Donald Trump, walks in those circles, billionaire mogul, knows people, and he knew what was going on. I'm just telling you, looking at these people take pictures with Harvey Weinstein, etc., it's funny to watch. Well, he did finally get at least a little bit of justice. And we'll talk about it here in a second, because I want to find that clip of Corey Haim and play that for you. It's actually pretty telling. It's actually very sad that we aren't doing more about this.
Kevin Jackson on the Black Sphere Radio Network.
Do you owe back taxes to the IRS or state? The secret to avoiding the IRS nightmare is to seek professional representation. My friends at Security Tax Associates provide the most cost-effective and ethical representation in the industry while helping to avoid seizures, levies, and wage garnishments. Security Tax Associates is here to ensure that the appropriate steps are taken to permanently eliminate any possibility of future tax burdens once and for all. For a free, no-obligation consultation, contact Security Tax Associates, 844-779-4177. That's 844-779-4177. 844-779-4177. Or visit them at securitytaxassociates.com.
Putting an end to identity politics. This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
I can tell you that the number one problem in Hollywood was and is and always will be pedophilia. That's the biggest problem for children in this industry.
The casting couch even applies to children.
Oh, yeah. Not in the same way. It's all done under the radar.
Nobody talks about pedophilia.
It's the big secret.
And it's widespread?
Oh, yeah. I was surrounded by them when I was 14 years old. Surrounded. Literally. Didn't even know it. It wasn't until I was old enough to realize what they were and what they wanted and what they were about and the types of people that were surrounding me till I went, oh my God, they were everywhere like vultures.
Vultures who Feldman says abused him and his best friend, the late child actor Corey Haim, his co-star in The Lost Boys.
Well, what happens if my mom is dating the head vampire?
Feldman says the trauma of that pedophilia contributed to Haim's death.
There's one person to blame in the death of Corey Haim, and that person happens to be a Hollywood mogul. And that person needs to be exposed, but unfortunately I can't be the one to do it. But the person that knows who did it and knows who he is watching right now, I guarantee you. Yeah.
Intriguing.
Yeah. There was a circle of older men that surrounded themselves around this group of kids. And they all had either their own power or connections to great power in the entertainment industry. You know, there's a lot of good people in this industry, but there's also a lot of really, really sick, corrupt people in this industry. And there are people in this industry who have gotten away with it for so long that they feel they're above the law. And that's got to change. That's got to stop.
Welcome, everybody. It's the Kevin Jackson Show. KJRadio.com. Corey Feldman, child actor. You know him from lots of movies. His little sidekick, Corey Haim, who killed himself. Couldn't deal with the demons. When you see all these stories about, oh, these children, they're, Hollywood children. Why are they so disturbed? Why can't they keep their money? What's wrong with the Hollywood children? Do you need an answer? When you see children in general who are struggling with suicidal thoughts and things like this, it isn't because of you tiger parents, you people that are saying, get out there. If you want to play baseball, but you're going to give it your all. This is what I tell my kid when my older sons are grown, but I would tell them all the same thing. Look, I don't care what you do, but once you choose it, you've chosen it and you're going to do it to the best of your ability. I'm not going to let up on you. And there are certain things I'm not going to let up on you in any kind of way. But here's what you'll always know. I will love you and I will protect you against anybody, including myself. I would not do anything to intentionally hurt my kids. And even if it was, quote, unintentional and somebody brought it to my attention, I would go, you're right. Let me tell you, when I was younger, as a young parent, you can go off the handle, off the loose end or the deep end or whatever they call it. As soon as somebody goes, Kevin, man, you're taking a little far with the kid, you're like, oh, you're right. Shouldn't be that hard on him. And you never do it again, because your job as a parent is to protect your kids from everybody, and that means you sometimes. So we should be in this. If conservatives had our way, you wouldn't have a fraction of the children who are suicidal, who are reclusive, and all these different things. I remember growing up, and I didn't even think of pedophilia as something black people did. I thought that was like stuff white folks did. Just being honest with you. I mean, I was naive. I didn't think black people could be gay. I thought, oh, man, it's always in white people. By the time I knew what gay was, I was like, man, look at all these white people gay. Yeah, all these white folks. Now I'm walking through D.C. and all I see is, I can't, it's like find the straight guy. You know, you could play find the straight guy because you can't, they're rare. So anyway, there was this black family that lived up the street from a good friends of mine family. And I didn't know these people very well. The kid that moved in, he was in my grade, but they were new to the town. And it wasn't a hot 6 months. We were going down that street, me and some friends of mine, and I saw they were like, yeah, that's where so-and-so lives. I don't know the guy's name, Calvin. And I was like, oh, really? I said, is that his little sister who's got those Coke bottle glasses? They're like, yeah. I said, man, daddy don't let her out. And the rumor was that this father was molesting his daughter. And I was like, what? Nah. It's like, come on, y'all, he black. He can't be doing that. And then I saw The Color Purple and went, oh, shoot. Oh, man, we just as bad. Yeah, I know you get a big kick out of that, Brett. Look, all these things happen in the Jewish community. They happen in the Hispanic community. I mean, come on, nobody's immune. But I didn't realize it at the time. I just thought the crazy stuff that went on in the world was because white people had just got too much time and money, you know? So Corey Feldman's breaking this thing down, saying, look, this is an industry. This is what do they call it? A party favor in Hollywood to be able to pass around these young boys and the girls. You remember there was a gorgeous girl. God, I'll never forget this girl. Don't remember her name, but I remember her face. And she went to Hollywood with the expressed intention of making porn. And I was thinking to myself, I mean, this girl was just drop dead gorgeous girl. And her friend said she was going there. I'm thinking, as a Hollywood producer and even a guy making porn, this girl walks into your office and she says, look, I want to make porn. And you say, look, I get it. I don't know what's going on with the family dynamics and all that. But young lady, you are too beautiful. And by the way, supposedly well-adjusted family girl and all this. I would say you need to go home, go get a regular job. I don't know what else you can do with your life, but this isn't it. And if that's not the discussion, quite frankly, that even these debaucherous, lecherous leftist porn guys, if they don't have that conversation with young women and men and say, first of all, do you really understand what you're doing? It's kind of like before you get a sex change operation, you got to go through a year of therapy, and convince them that you are what you really do want to make this change, if whatever it may be. But you should have counseling. This should be mandatory in that industry, that they sit down and videotape and have conversations with these kids. You know what the videotape thing was? I saw a Miss Universe, not Miss Universe, either Miss USA or Miss America, one of them. And she goes and says, I want to make porn. And she's an older woman at this point, probably in her 30s, but beautiful. And the guy goes, phew, yeah, let's audition you right now. So he gets one of his porn guys and they have sex right there. And she leaves, like, was at my audition. Like, what do you have to audition being a former Miss USA or something? And you want to make porn? No audition necessary. Show up next week and we'll be ready to go, right? But he wants to audition. So she leaves like a $2 hooker. I mean, you have to see this clip of, they didn't show the porn. They just showed this clip of him, talking about he had a Miss USA, former Miss USA come in. And the guy goes, hey man, I just had to see a former Miss USA, having sex. Yeah, I just had to see it. I mean, and I'm thinking to myself, wow, you didn't want to talk to this lady and say, hey, look, you've got an amazing career. You're a beautiful woman. Are you sure this is what you want to do? But he didn't, because he wanted to indulge his own stupidity. And what in the end, what does he get? Another pretty face that had sex, another woman with a nice. There are so many women in that industry. But here's the thing. They never get to the crux of it. But the crux of it is leftist men who would dare debase their daughters, debase their wives, debase their nieces, and so on. There are people out there who prey on these kids and can't wait to get them into a position where they have ultimate power. And that's what Hollywood is. Hollywood and politics. They're the same, folks. How does Harvey Weinstein go on for decades doing this? And you know what it took to break it up? It took his brother. His brother had had enough. His brother said, not only is this just bad, you're ruining our company. So the board of directors kick out Harvey. Finally, this guy who promised, by the way, I'm going to take some time off from work, kept going to work, kept showing up to work. The board finally said, you can no longer be on these premises, and they just kicked him out. You guys aware of this? But it was his brother. And now it's not proven, but I'm telling you, it took his brother. It took somebody who was right in the middle of this pathological nonsense that said, look, I'm no longer going to tolerate this. This is not just impacting you. This is impacting people around you. Everybody knew. Ashley Judd, Hillary Clinton. I asked these feminists, where are you again? You sanctimonious wenches, where are you?
He won't stop until he's the top-rated radio talk show host in America.
What kind of weird competitive freak are you?
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show. This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
Welcome, everybody. Kevin Jackson here. It's the Kevin Jackson Show. KJRadio.com. If there was ever a time that we needed a conservative version of Hollywood, I give you now. You want to call the show 844-551-8255. All these people being blackballed in Hollywood. James Woods, Kevin Sorbo, and many others, right? Can't get jobs. Why? Because they're conservative, man. We can't have that kind of thought permeating Hollywood. All these goody two-shoes, sanctimonious conservative Christians telling us what to make. Oh, you mean like good movies for profit? Yeah. They want to boot you out. Shut down your voice. And now I think we might know why. Holy mother of Harvey, huh? I told you guys, bigger story than you think. Because it was, and it is. Many stories like this, they seem small. Harvey Weinstein is rifling through Hollywood right now. The ripple effect of what we're learning about him. You want to know why? Because it's like WikiLeaks was to Hillary Clinton. People are finding out what we've already been telling them. They're finding out the truth. See, it isn't the fact that Harvey Weinstein did what he did. That's a fallacy of man. Everybody can relate to that. Okay, Roger Ailes, he's a conservative. He did it. Remember all the hoopla over Roger Ailes? Man, it was a big deal. It caused a huge ripple on the right to the point of Fox News being under the gun. I mean, you can't tell me all the things. It was just like, well, holy cow, right? So that is a fallacy of men. We can all relate to that. I didn't see Roger Ailes as anything different than anybody. Insert blank here, and sometime down the road, you're going to be able to put man's name in there. Probably you're going to be able to put a woman's name in there someday. Just the way it is. And although the left is a lecherous bunch, they wanted you to believe that that's just the way. See how sanctimonious those Republicans are, those conservatives? There's Roger Ailes, one of their icons. Look at what he's doing. Yeah, and they didn't want you to even come remotely back to their side. Now, we know they do it. They advertise the casting couch. Pretty much everybody going to Hollywood, they warn young people, look, be careful of the snakes in Hollywood. They'll just get you on the casting couch, etc. They know it. But this one's big because it's been going on a long time. And it's implicating feminist. There, I said it. I let it out. I wasn't going to give you guys a secret. But yep, it's touch feminist. It's touching on people who have hobnobbed with this man. And if you think they were mad about Roger Ailes, remember what the president did when he did his little locker room chat and they said he was grabbing women by the naughty bits. Yes. And that's all you got to point to? In comparison to a dude who settled no less than 8 sexual harassment lawsuits? Really? Now it's a big deal. Meryl Streep, who called Harvey Weinstein God. I think her quote was something along the lines of, since 2015, over 1,400 people have given a tribute to Harvey Weinstein, thus making him God. It was something along those lines. I'm paraphrasing, but it was close to that. And then Meryl comes out and goes, he's a stinky man. He's terrible. I love it. He's terrible. Ashley Judd, I already talked about her. What else you want me to say about Ashley? She's in Washington, D.C. with a vagina head on, talking about Donald Trump and how lecherous he is, and she knows what's going on with Harvey Weinstein. You want to know why this is big, folks? Because this is one of those things where the left says, yeah, we know people do bad things, but they're sanctimonious about it. We're all for women and we're all for these rights or whatever. And then they got one living amongst them. They know he's there. They are complicit in his activities. They will not call him out. And now they've been caught yet again, given the questions to Hillary Clinton at the debate. That's what they're doing. It took WikiLeaks of sorts to expose what we already know has been going on. Even Mark Ruffalo, the dude who went after the priest with some stupid movie, said, we already know priests in the Catholic Church are molesting kids. What? Surprise, surprise? I'll put it to you this way. I bet you Harvey Weinstein has molested more women than all the priests in the Catholic Church in America. They know the lid is blown off. So Mark Ruffalo, one of the most vapid he's just a leftist to his core, to his rotten core. He comes out, Harvey Weinstein's a terrible guy. You know why they can pile on him now? You want to know why? Anybody? Well, you guys know why, right? Because he's weak. He's down. He's not just down. He's gone. Because they need somebody to purge. They got to purge. This is the worst scandal in Hollywood's modern history. It really is. Because they have nowhere to go with this. Everybody, when Jake Tapper made the comment that a producer contacted him or he had contacted a producer to do a segment, the guy goes, I'm just shocked it took this long. He goes, what are you talking about? It's well known. I did practically an entire show yesterday. I didn't even think I was going to cover this much of Harvey Weinstein today. I was going to talk more NFL. I am going to talk some more NFL. Maybe. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But I'm shocked by how little people thought this was going to be initially. People were telling me, Kevin, why are you talking about Weinstein? I don't get it. It's no big deal. Who cares, man? He's just another typical leftist. No, this is a big deal. If you knew what was happening in Hollywood right now, all the people, the casting couches that are now being put in layaway or taken to the U-Haul or whatever, you'd know this is a big deal. This is like finding out Planned Parenthood sold baby parts. Now the question is, what are we going to do about it? You going to rest on your laurels? We'll be back. Talking power.
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
Do you owe back taxes to the IRS or state? The secret to avoiding the IRS nightmare is to seek professional representation. My friends at Security Tax Associates provide the most cost-effective and ethical representation in the industry while helping to avoid seizures, levies, and wage garnishments. Security Tax Associates is here to ensure that the appropriate steps are taken to permanently eliminate any possibility of future tax burdens once and for all. For a free, no-obligation consultation, contact Security Tax Associates, 844-779-4177. That's 844-779-4177. 844-779-4177. Or visit them at securitytaxassociates.com.
Beth Cook Moranville, author of Closer Than Your Breath, a book of hope.
Hope, that wonderful, wonderful 4-letter word that you may feel completely out of. I wrote this book to give you great hope. It's not too late. If fetal position is an all too familiar place for you, I understand. If the next 60 seconds are too long, this book is for you. Wherever you are right now, whether you're dealing with divorce or death or sickness, take hope. You are going to make it through this pain. Don't roll your eyes. I've walked this road and I know it. The best is yet to come.
Closer Than Your Breath, a book of hope from author and speaker Beth Cook Moranville, can be found on Amazon.com or Kindle.com. For more information, visit closerthanyourBreath.com or on Facebook at Closer Than Your Breath.
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
What I tell you guys. Welcome everybody to the Kevin Jackson Show. What did I tell you? I told you this Weinstein thing is bigger than you think. I told you that. What did I tell you guys? I told you guys that this NFL thing with Donald Trump attacking the NFL was bigger than you think. Maybe you'll start to listen to me, the Kevin Jackson Show. You can get a hold of us anytime on demand, kjradio.com. And I hope you do, and I hope you pass these segments on. We cut the show 12 segments, 4 per hour over 3 hours, and then we give you the full show. You can get it by the drink, by the bite, or you could eat the whole meal. It's okay. But you'll start listening because I'm telling you the truth up in here. I'm telling you how things really work in the leftist world. The double standard. I hope you get a chance to check out what I said earlier in the broadcast about the NFL and how I tied it so beautifully to Michelle Obama. You're going, Kevin, how could you possibly tie the NFL to Michelle Obama? And I did it. I certainly did. Go back and check it out if you want. Got a bunch of elitists. You know what you are talking about? When we talk about the left, you know what we're talking about, folks? We're talking about elitists who will never, ever learn. And you want to know why? It's a very simple concept. It's in one word, and I'm about to break it down for you. Are you ready? Y'all ready in there? Should I give them the word now? Should I hold it? No, I'm going to give it to them. The word, my friends, is power. Power. The ultimate aphrodisiac. Power will get you money. Power will get you whatever you want. You don't have to carry a credit card. You don't have to have a bank account if you have power. Yeah, think about it. People ask me all the time, the only thing I would ever wish for, and I say, and it ain't wishing for more wishes. I said, I'd like to have the ability to change anybody's mind. That pretty much is power. It doesn't sound like it, right? I just want to have the ability to get whatever I want when I want because I can change your mind to do it. That is a powerful thing, isn't it? I wish for nothing more than power, but I put it in such a nice way that people are like, Kevin's so profound. Which that is profound. But I want to go back to power. The ultimate aphrodisiac. Women will chase money in a minute. They certainly will. But you know what women want? And I'm not trying to get all misogynistic here because I'll talk to you about it from the other side if you want. You know what men like? They like seeing a woman be powerful. But they also like seeing her be a woman. But you know what women really like? And don't get mad at me, ladies, because I know I ain't telling you something you don't already know. Women love power. They love men who know how to wield power too. They really do. Because it's part of our nature. They don't want you powerful where you're kicking the crap out of dogs and kids and stuff as you walk through the park. They don't want that kind of power. They want power where somebody comes up to them and says, hey, yeah, I'm about to take your lady and do some bad things. And you go, really? I don't think that's about to happen, as you move your lady behind you and say, bring it. See, that's sexy. Ladies, they don't always tell their guys this, but one of the things that they do like, if you are an alpha male as I am, they want to know they're protected. And that's one aspect. You want to know what the number one thing is for relationships? Number one, I saw this the other day. I was like, you got to be kidding me. Your credit rating. They said a dude that's got good credit supersedes looks, funny, all of it. If you got 800 credit, the girls will flock. It's true. Well, y'all look at me. Yeah, what's your credit rating? Come on, what's your credit rating? Do you know? If you're embarrassed to tell me, it's okay. I get it. Come on, y'all. I got to go back on the radio here. You over 700? Okay, you got a good shot. Why you? You don't know? You don't want to know, right? Look, if your credit rating is over 700, God forbid it's over 800, you are a chick magnet if your credit rating's over 800. My credit rating's close to 800. It ought to be at 800. I don't understand why it ain't. I'll make a few phone calls. But I'm just saying, if you have good credit, that's the thing. That's become the new power. I can go, a woman don't want to know if she's going to be with you and it's time to get a house and you're over there going, well, I don't know. We may have to. You can't even, let me tell you, there are a lot of brothers out here. And I'm not talking out of turn. They know I'm not lying. Can't even get an apartment. Got to get apartments, things co-signed. 40 years old, got to get people to co-sign. What? I mean, it's crazy. People want power. And here's the thing. Let's segue back to real power. The real power is with these politicos and these Holly weirdos and these people that we give power to. The power of voice. They say something and we buy, we believe. That's what we do. If Kim Kardashian tweets on some shoes, there's a bunch of people that buy those shoes. They don't even know why. They're like, Stepford, well, I must buy the shoes. I must buy the shoes. And they do. They call them influencers. There's a website dedicated to influencers. You can make money if you can prove you're an influencer, and they will do affiliate marketing with you. I know this because I've been approached. They say, Kevin, you have power. I go, I don't got no power. What kind of power? Black man got no. Oh, wait a minute. I have a little power. I almost went civil rights on them. I'm not lying. What you talking about? Black man got some power. Look at my back. Yeah, it's about power. All this pedophilia, all this sexual harassment going on in Hollywood, it's all power, man. Have you seen, seriously, look at a picture of Harvey Weinstein. I criticized him the other day. I said the dude looks like Shrek. You know who he's seen with? This dude has been seen with some of the most stunning women on the planet. I was watching like a clip of the Hollywood, like the red carpet thing, and he was with a different chick every time, like woo, boom, and every one of them more pretty than the other. Thought I was at the $1 Million Saloon in Dallas, with a fistful of 20s. You know what I'm saying? It was like, what? Every one of them, you can bet, got some issue with Harvey Weinstein, and the left knew it. I mean, how powerful must you be when you've been doing something for 3 decades that people, look at the war on women of Donald Trump. How dare Donald Trump? And what about that Roger Ailes? And holy cow, that Bill O'Reilly. They got a few people to point at, and Trump isn't even in the mix, to be honest with you. And they're just walking right by Harvey. Harvey's over there, in the bushes with some young ingenue, going, hey. And they're like, hey, Harvey, hey, how's it going? And Harvey's like, I'll be with you in just a minute. Give me another minute. Yeah. These people are dangerous, boy. They're dangerous. We talked the other day about California saying, hey, HIV, you give somebody HIV knowingly, but if it's not malicious, how do you knowingly give somebody HIV and it not be malicious? Oh, well. Just saying, it's crazy stuff. And the left, what's so shocking is this is their Waterloo, because they've pretended to be the, paradigms of virtue when in fact they're not. They're doing these things for their own self-interest and for that power.
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show. This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
Can you address the main headline of this story that you called the president a moron? And if not, where do you think these reports or
I'm not going to deal with petty stuff like that. I mean, this is what I don't understand about Washington. Again, I'm not from this place, but the places I come from, we don't deal with that kind of petty nonsense. And it is intended to do nothing but divide people. And I'm just not going to be part of this effort to divide this administration.
Welcome back, everybody. Kevin Jackson here. You want to hear some petty nonsense? This is a Kevin Jackson show. KJRadio.com if you want to give us a call, 844-551-8255. By the way, welcome Big Spring, Texas. Glad you guys are on board. I think they finally made the cutover. Thanks to you, we're on in that market. I don't know who found us, but we're happy to be there. Also, Ruidoso, New Mexico. I don't have the call letters. Glad you guys are on board as well. And we just added a big digital footprint that if you're getting the show now, however you're getting it, it doesn't matter. But we have a whole new digital footprint that's got the show out there. And from what I'm told, we're getting, tens of thousands of listens every day from that. So congratulations to that group for picking us up, and congratulations to us. Anyway, I do want to talk about the petty nonsense, but I don't want to talk about it with respect to Tillerson. I don't know what's going to happen there. Donald Trump's cabinet's going to change. I've been telling you guys this since the man started. In corporate America, you change management. You change management team. Now, Donald Trump's new to this. He's got a bunch of guys who don't know anything about D.C. That's a good thing, but it's a bad thing. And I'm sure many of them are frustrated having to look at the politics that these are titans of industry that they cut through the political nonsense because they're at the top. And they've seen that Donald Trump can't cut through the political nonsense as much as he'd like. And of course they can't. Their hands are tied because they have to look at what direction he wants versus what they've been tasked to do. And they have to make sure that jives and so on and so forth. So whether Tillerson stays or goes, I don't really care. I like the guy. I think a guy who can run a multinational like Mobil, he's certainly well qualified. He's better qualified than Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton. He's more qualified than the entirety of Obama's staff put together. And he could do it in 2 hours. That's how good Tillerson is. So Trump is in the same vein. Everybody that Donald Trump has put into place, it has those same credentials. So I'm happy for this. But I want to bring Tillerson's nonsense thing into something else. The nonsense of leftism across the board. And I want to talk about Michelle Obama and her comments explaining color. So here she is.
Side of the room, it's literally gray and white. Literally, that's the color palette on one side of the room. On the other side of the room, there's yellows and blues and whites and greens. Physically, there's a difference in color, in the tone. Wow. Because one side, all men, all white. On the other side, some women, some people of color.
Talk about a good time to mention my book, Race Pimping, The Multi-Trillion-Dollar Business of Liberalism. This is it. Spokesperson for the lying left, Michelle Obama, race baiter, returns to tell America just how racist the Republican Party is. Says the Republican Party has made people not trust politics. That was at the Pennsylvania Conference for Women. Michelle Obama said she got uncomfortable as she noticed on the Republican side of the room there were all white men. And you heard her, what she just said. When you're in a room, you see this real dichotomy. It's a feeling of color almost. Literally gray and white. That's the way she sees you on the other side of the aisle. You're gray and you're white. But on her side, there's yellows and there's reds and there's all types of people and there's all the diversity. She says, I look at that and I go, no wonder we struggle. No wonder people don't trust politics. We're not even noticing what these rooms look like. Oh, yeah, we are. Hard to believe how sensitive Michelle Obama can be. Exactly what have white men done to her? White guys, let me know. Send me a note, kjradio.com. I know you've done something. You've harmed Michelle Obama. She lived in a black-centric world, so what? You know you're out there. You know you're bad. And if any men took advantage of Michelle Obama, you can bet they weren't white. It wasn't nobody trying to date her. You can bet on that. But she has a psychosis for white men. You people are so mean. Ah. One would think her fear of white men would have dwindled given the number of white men it took to get her husband elected. What of those white men, Michelle? Oh, you give them a pass. What, they get the race card for a little bit? And what of Michelle Obama's obsession with the color and gender of people in the room? Hey, I have a question for her. What about their character? You know, because look, I know that she likes, having white women on her side. She likes having Margaret Sanger as a role model. Yeah, well, let me tell you what's on the other side of that room that Michelle Obama's looking at. Those Republicans. There's Sojourner Truth. There's Harriet Tubman. There's Maggie Walker. There's a lot of black women on the other side of that aisle that Michelle Obama seems to overlook. There are a lot of black men. Booker T. Washington, Frederick Douglass. Most of the blacks of history post-slavery were black people on that side of the room. She's not seeing them. Just curious. The white men she references on that side of the aisle, folks, are duly representative of the areas of the country they represent. And secondly, and perhaps most importantly, is what I just said a minute ago. Who is she missing? You remember the Republican Party, folks, that put Susana Martinez as a governor of New Mexico? Nikki Haley is a governor of South Carolina? Now she heads the UN? That Republican Party? I wonder, when she was looking across the aisle, did she see Mia Love? Did she see Tim Scott? Did she see the litany of blacks and Hispanics and women who are on the Republican side of the aisle? Or did she just overlook them? Asians? She refuses to see them. She's proud of the diversity, the so-called diversity, the fake diversity of the Democratic Party. A party united with only one thing, folks. It's hatred of America. I don't care what they tell you. I know what they're united for. They don't like the way the best country in the world operates. They don't like that people would give parts of their body. People leave family and fortunes behind to escape oppression from elsewhere to come where? To this country. It is their first choice. If they happen to go to Greece or Turkey or Europe or somewhere else, I guarantee you it's only because of proximity. They want to get here. It's unbelievable. I talked earlier about the special interest. You think La Raza cares about the other side of the aisle, the left side of the aisle? Do you think La Raza cares about the white folks over on the left? Do you think Black Lives Matter cares about them white folks on the left? I'm just curious. Do you think the Congressional Black Caucus, the Congressional Hispanic Caucus cares about them? Do you think the Congressional Asian Caucus cares about blacks or Latinos? What Michelle Obama missed in her criticism of the right is that at the very least, what the right represents is they want the best for everybody. It's just amazing to me that the left, they allow these people to get away with this nonsense. It's so racial. I would ask Michelle Obama, I'd say, Michelle Obama, what do you have against white men? You know, are you just okay with white men when they're voting Democrat? But because you look across your sea of people on the left, there's a bunch of white men over there. They're eunuchs. But there's a bunch of them over there. What is it about them that you like so much, but you don't like these other guys? What have they done? Because let me tell you, these white guys on the other side of the aisle, they're the Harvey Weinsteins. They're the Bill Clintons. That's who they are. I'm not exonerating us, folks. And then she wants to talk about trust. We can't get Obama's kindergarten records, his Panahu school records, his Occidental College records. We can't get his Columbia University records. I mean, this is the smartest guy in the world, folks. That's what they told the smartest president ever. They won't even give you his kindergarten records. His Columbia thesis, Soviet nuclear disarmament, you can't get that. You'd think he'd want to release his Harvard records. He's brilliant. Can't get his Harvard Law School records. Can't get his Harvard Law Review records. University of Chicago scholarly articles. Can't get his passport. Can't get his medical records. I mean, they have shut down everything about this man, but they want you to believe he's smart and he's made us trust government. The guy who had more scandals than he had things that you don't know about him. Unbelievable. Obama remains a stranger to America. He acted like it. In his final days as president, he lauded his administration for being scandal-free. That should tell you all you need to know. If anybody has destroyed trust in America, folks, it's the Obamas.
Kevin Jackson on the Black Sphere Radio Network.
Do you owe back taxes to the IRS or state? The secret to avoiding the IRS nightmare is to seek professional representation. My friends at Security Tax Associates provide the most cost-effective and ethical representation in the industry while helping to avoid seizures, levies, and wage garnishments. Security Tax Associates is here to ensure that the appropriate steps are taken to permanently eliminate any possibility of future tax burdens once and for all. For a free, no-obligation consultation, contact Security Tax Associates, 844-779-4177. That's 844-779-4177. 844-779-4177. Or visit them at securitytaxassociates.com.
Putting an end to identity politics. This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
One of Hollywood's biggest power brokers is out of a job. Harvey Weinstein fired from his own company on Sunday as allegations of sexual abuse pile up around him following an expose in the New York Times. The 65-year-old movie exec had earlier taken a leave of absence, but the board of Weinstein Company made the decision to fire him, quote, in light of new information about misconduct that has emerged in the past few days. His departure leaves his brother Bob and COO David Glasser in charge. Weinstein helped make movies like Shakespeare in Love in Chicago. He's also a big backer of liberal causes and donated to Democrats during the 2016 election. The company says it's running its own internal investigation after the Times reported Weinstein had settled with at least 8 women who accused him of sexual harassment going back decades.
Welcome back, everybody. Kevin Jackson here. The dude who broke the big news that the Harvey Weinstein story is huge. It's huge up in here. I'm glad to be able to impart some knowledge. And this is so big, and the reason why it's so big, well, I mean, I've already given you lots of reasons why, but I'm going to give you some more. The reasons why this is so big is because it has political implications. People are saying, should they have to turn in their donations, give their donations, but like that's going to dissolve you of all the affiliation you have with Harvey Weinstein. And you then get to say, well, okay, so what? I knew that he was, molesting women and sexually harassing them. I've given the money back. Leave me alone. No, you don't get off that easily. It isn't as simple as, oh, well, we gave back all the money. And then you listen to the DNC, they're like, well, we gave back part of it. Well, why didn't you give back all of it? Well, we just don't feel like we need to give back at all because Harvey does have some redeeming qualities. So we figured, we weighed it out and it was 80% give it back and 20% keep it. So we kept 20%. Okay. Just twisted logic. These people are so, it's just, in fact, we have a discussion about this, don't we? Because I know they just did. That was the BBC, not BBC, British news that we played the clip earlier. Here's Jake Tapper talking to some senator about it, and just see what they have to say.
The SCC, the Senate arm, and the DCCC, the congressional arm, the House arm, are not giving all the Weinstein money back. Do you think that all that Weinstein money, we're talking here about more than $400,000, needs to be returned or donated to charity by all the arms of the Democratic Party?
Yeah, I think that probably makes sense. I mean, this is a pretty bad guy who did some really awful things. And, if people need for that money to be returned in order to make it clear that the entities that receive them want nothing to do with him and his behavior, then, that's probably a smart move. But, let's be honest, we take tens of thousands of contributions. I don't require a background check to contribute to my campaign. And so there are probably lots of people with unsavory backgrounds and past who have given to both Democrats and Republicans. But this was a high-profile individual who did some truly awful things, and people that took money from him should probably give it back.
Welcome back, everybody. Kevin Jackson here. You might have been fooled by that senator when he says, look, we can't know what everybody does in our campaigns. I mean, come on. We get hundreds of thousands, if not thousands of donors who donate all the time. And you're like, that is true, Kevin. That is true, black man. He gets a lot of donations. How can he know? He can't know everybody. He's right. He's exactly right. And I know you guys are shocked. Kevin's actually agreeing with this guy. Yeah, except that everybody knew about Harvey. What say you now, Senator? What say you now? Where's your God now, Moses? Where's your God now? Huh? See? He can pass that off on the layman. He ain't fooling Kevin Jackson, one of the logic dudes. See, my degrees are in logic. Not in, well, he can't possibly know all your donors. I know you can't possibly know all your donors. They're like $10, $15 donors, $1,000. When you're appearing in public and you've got a guy that, whether Michelle Obama herself says, well, Harvey, he's a great guy. Let's just play that clip again.
I want to start by thanking Harvey Weinstein for organizing this amazing day. Harvey. This is possible because of Harvey. He is a wonderful human being, a good friend, and just a powerhouse.
And that was the First Lady of the United States. She knows what Harvey is about. Donald Trump came on, they asked him about it. He said, Donald Trump was like, no surprise. No surprise. If you are walking in the Hollywood circles that the Obamas, the Clintons, and even Donald Trump did when he had his successful show, you knew about Harvey Weinstein. Everybody knew. And it was one of those things where, hey, that's Hollywood. I mean, let's just be honest about it. That's Hollywood. We all know it. There's gambling in the casino. That's Hollywood. That's what this was about. And so now the cat's out of the bag. And there was a lady, a former Fox reporter, not the big Fox, but like a local reporter. She was covering something on Harvey Weinstein, went to some event. And this dude, I'm going to be as delicate about this as I can. He diddled with himself, trapped her in a room and diddled with himself, if you know what I'm saying. And here's her on Megyn Kelly's new show recounting it. And I want you to see just how bad this guy is. Listen to her story.
I called you the next day at your TV station. Didn't have your phone number. That's what you say. And how did that go?
That was so crazy because the next day after I fled, basically, he called my station. They said, I have Harvey Weinstein on the line for you. And my heart sank. And he said, I just want to let you know, I had a great time last night. Excuse me? Yeah, I had a great time last night. I'm going away overseas on a trip. I would love to see you again, if that's something we could do. I said, Absolutely not. I told you yesterday, I have a very serious boyfriend. Absolutely not. And I'm pretty sure I just hung up the phone quickly after. It was a very short conversation, but that was the most shocking part.
So let me elaborate, because I thought I'd given it enough of a, in prelude, but I didn't. Anyway, this is the Kevin Jackson Show, for those of you who are just tuning in. And that was Lauren Siven, S-I-V-E-N, a Fox News reporter, who was at an event. Harvey Weinstein, he comes up to her and he's propositioning her, and he's being creepy, as people have described him. And she goes into a room and he goes in behind her and blocks her exit from the door and begins, and it's a sexual activity that does not involve her. Okay. That's as delicately as I can put that. And forces her to watch and says something along the lines of, just shut up and watch. Or can't you just shut up and watch? It was something like that as I was reading the story. Then when he, done, she leaves and she's all, like, what the heck is this about? And can you imagine what's going through her mind, what she must be thinking? So she leaves. The next day, this fool calls and talks to her like he's been on a date. Can we do it again? Can we go out again? I'm leaving to go out of town, but when I get back, can we? Do you understand how distorted your mind has to be to where you believe that kind of behavior is okay? It doesn't even register to him that was bad. I want to stop. Honestly, if you can understand that, you understand Hollywood. When you get away with things for so long, when you hold that kind of power, when you wield that kind of power, you lose yourself. This guy sees what we all look at as abhorrent behavior. To be blunt, I couldn't even conjure up that something that vile, that crazy in my mind to do under any circumstances. And here's a guy that does it, makes a phone call to her office saying, hey, had a lovely time. You think these guys met on Match.com, went out and had the perfect date where he was pulling her chair out and, vibrant conversation, and they were, had a amazing food and dessert, a glass of wine, had a little kiss at the, at her door. And she leaves like she's in La La Land, and he goes, she could be Mrs. Right. And he calls the next day, and this fool is married. Calls the next day. I got to go out of town, going to overseas. When we get back, I was hoping we could go out and have another date. What Bugs Bunny used to say, a malouk or something. I forget, but this guy, that tells you the level of debauchery that is in Hollywood, folks, that quite frankly, dangerous levels. I wouldn't let my kids there for any reason.
He won't stop until he's the top-rated radio talk show host in America.
What kind of weird competitive freak are you?
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show. The Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
Welcome, everybody. Kevin Jackson here. It's the Kevin Jackson Show. We are not talking about the economy, are we? We're not talking about Donald Trump's foreign policy, winning on trade. We're not talking about housing values going up. We're not talking about the unemployment rate going down. We're not talking about the amount of money that's circulating back into the economy. We're not talking about the latest GDP numbers of America approaching $20 trillion, meaning it used to be 14 plus trillion, like 14.7 trillion. That was the worth of the American economy. Everybody at work. That number's gone up. It's almost $20 trillion. We're not talking about that. We're talking about football and kneeling, which, by the way, good that we are, because while we're not talking about these other things, and I'm not happy about that per se, the things that we are talking about are putting our boot on the throat of liberalism. And this time, we're not letting up until there's no more movement. Liberalism must die. It can't end up in the hospital. It must die. And in order to kill it, you've got to show people there's a completely different way around it. Whenever the history books come back and try to rewrite, they're going to say, boy, during the time of Donald Trump and the Tea Party community, America thrived. See, here's what you'll never say. In the time of socialism, during the time of Barack Obama, everybody was doing great. No, they weren't. More people unemployed than in the history of this nation. Oh, well, the unemployment rate went down. Don't believe the hype. We never recovered to where our GDP was. Never. Not the entire time. Barack Obama, I believe, did not have over 3% growth in the entire presidency that he had. And he got money from Bush. He was printing money. I mean, literally printing money. $1 trillion a year. And all he could do was keep us from imploding, as he put it. So to hear the left say, we set the stage for Donald Trump. You didn't set the stage. If Donald Trump had gotten an economy that had imploded, he would have fixed it. Because that's what you do when you know what you're doing. You fix stuff. So it would have been nothing. Donald Trump would have said, psst, magic wand, so. It would have just been more dramatic. If he had handed Donald Trump, which I think he did actually, it was just covered up. But let's say he didn't print any money and we were, unemployment stayed at 8%, whatever. All you'd see is the dramatic moves. You've seen dramatic moves already, folks. Stock market up 20-something%, even while gold is going up. You're seeing economies moving, indexes after index showing improvement, especially consumer confidence and people believing that they can get work. They're starting to spend money. I went through all this the other day just to show you guys what we're missing. But we're talking NFL and we're talking Harvey Weinstein. And as much as I want to tell you that we need to be talking about these other things that I'm talking about now, no, we need to be talking NFL. We need to be talking Weinstein. These are things that are going to crush liberalism. It's going to put liberals finally out of their misery. They tell you you're too sanctimonious. You go, really? So we should have pedophiles and sexual harassers rampant? Knowingly, we should have that? We should let these pretentious thuglites is what I call them. These thuglites be on the field protesting the American flag, the very country that gave them the opportunity to do what they do. We should allow for this? Or we should just keep quiet, right? We should allow their lie to be told. It should trump the truth. No, it shouldn't. And let me tell you, when we're done with the NFL and when we're done with the leftists and their duplicitous nature about the war on women that they're fighting, right? They're fighting the war on women. They're trying to help women. We are trying to help you. Pay attention to us. We want to help you. Really? Okay, we're here. I'm here for you. Help me. And what do? They tell you, oh, Harvey, well, he donates a lot of money to causes. We do a lot of charity work with Harvey. As the Congressional Black Caucus would tell you, you've got to crack a few eggs to make an omelet. The problem is if one of those eggs is your daughter, if one of those boys that gets passed around Hollywood is your kid, how would you feel about it? See, leftists don't worry about that stuff. They always tell you if we could just save one. Well, in the case of Harvey, no big deal. If we could just save one, well, you know what? Okay, so what? Those NFL players don't give a crap about black people being killed in the cities where they play. The thing is, they do care about police officers killing black people. Yeah, that's what they really care about. You can't fight all the battles. I had one guy say that to me. Ask him, I go, well, what about this? What about that? Well, man, come on, Kev. You can't be fighting all the battles. Like the NFL. I'm asking this guy, why doesn't the NFL get involved in these community outreach programs that actually help these kids? It sends them to college and gets them off the streets and shows them that the thug life isn't the way to go. Why aren't they putting in programs to help these young thuglites to get out of their state of mind and go work with people that can help them hold on to their money so they can go back with a different attitude? And I could go on. Well, Kev, come on, man. They can't be working on everything. Oh, really? So their neighborhoods are not worth it. They themselves having money afterwards and learning how to deal with it is not worth it. Is that what you're telling me? Well, it is. It's what they're telling them. I heard estimates that the NFL ratings drop of 10% cost CBS, Fox News, Fox TV, NBC, and ESPN $200 million. I don't know if that some guy did the calculations and said every 10% costs $200 million. So they've been dropping, 17, 19, 23%. You're looking at money lost. Keep in mind, that's money lost to the networks, CBS, Fox, NBC, ESPN, etc. They're losing $200 million. So they are going to make sure they get their pound of flesh out of the NFL. I don't care what they do. Liberalism is dangerous, people. We'll talk about that this segment. We've covered stories that you wouldn't even believe are real if I didn't convince you of it. I didn't believe they were real when I found them. But you know what? Nothing surprises me in this crazy world. Kevin Jackson Show coming up.
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
Do you owe back taxes to the IRS or state? The secret to avoiding the IRS nightmare is to seek professional representation. My friends at Security Tax Associates provide the most cost-effective and ethical representation in the industry while helping to avoid seizures, levies, and wage garnishments. Security Tax Associates is here to ensure that the appropriate steps are taken to permanently eliminate any possibility of future tax burdens once and for all. For a free, no-obligation consultation, contact Security Tax Associates, 844-779-4177. That's 844-779-4177. 844-779-4177. Or visit them at securitytaxassociates.com.
Beth Cook Moranville, author of Closer Than Your Breath, a book of hope.
Hope, that wonderful, wonderful 4-letter word that you may feel completely out of. I wrote this book to give you great hope. It's not too late. If fetal position is an all too familiar place for you, I understand. If the next 60 seconds are too long, this book is for you. Wherever you are right now, whether you're dealing with divorce or death or sickness, take hope. You are going to make it through this pain. Don't roll your eyes. I've walked this road and I know it. The best is yet to come.
Closer Than Your Breath, a book of hope from author and speaker Beth Cook Moranville, can be found on Amazon.com or Kindle.com. For more information, visit closerthanyourBreath.com or on Facebook at Closer Than Your Breath.
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
What's up, everybody? Kevin Jackson here. It's the Kevin Jackson Show. KJRadio.com. You can find out more about me at kevinjackson.us. You can go to theblacksphere.net, send a note at kjradio.com. I just want you to go check out what we do. By the way, if you want to call the show, 844-551-8255. We love hearing from you, so please do. Please give us a ring. It's a shocker to find out. I'm back and forth to New York all the time doing stuff with Fox, and it's a shocker to find out that New York City has been targeted by terrorists. I know. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, big city targeted by terrorists. It's so rare. When's the last time that happened? Somebody, anybody. When? Paris? Okay, whatever. What else? What? Brussels? What? Cologne? Where? I mean, come on, give me something. Give me a city. Oh, there's been a few? All right, I got you. Yeah, exactly. After all de Blasio has done to help terrorists, and these ingrates would dare target New York City. I don't know about you, but that makes me mad. Targeting New York, the Big Apple, trying to blow a bite out of the Big Apple. Not just take a bite, blow a bite out of the Big Apple. It was New York City was targeted. Remember that guy in Times Square tried to do the bomb or something and the cop saw him? Yeah. I don't know how long ago that was. And I guarantee there's been stuff in between there. I was in New York one time. I think I told you guys this. And we heard pop, pop, like that, like a car backfired or something. And it was after a terror attack. Not, it wasn't maybe it was like San Bernardino or something. I don't remember. But I'll tell you this. When that thing backfired, it was like time just stood. People just stopped. Like for a split second. And then I'm not kidding. It's like we all froze and then we just kept walking. And I don't know how much time I lost, but it was a hot second. And while I'm just kind of frozen, the minute we all unfroze, I looked around and went like, did y'all hear that? And it was funny because you could see people looking around like, whoa. Yeah, it was strange. It was an eerie feeling like right after 9/11, the first day I could fly. I can't remember when it was. Well, it wasn't the first day you could fly because I didn't fly right away. But it was within 2 weeks of them lifting the fly ban, I was flying. Getting on that plane was surreal. I mean, it was weird. That's when you know your mind can do some crazy things to you. That can make you, you have a traumatic experience and you just, I don't want to drive. I don't want to fly. Nah. I get it because it was an eerie feeling. And I don't remember what terror attack had occurred earlier, but when I was in New York, man, when that car backfired, everybody, what was that? Wow. An ISIS-inspired terror plot targeting Times Square and the city's subways, aimed at killing thousands and making, quote, an ocean of blood, has been foiled. That's what authorities say. A trio of twisted wannabe terrorists, including a U.S. citizen, were planning to strike the city over the summer of 2016 during the Islamic holy month of Ramadan. That's right. What better time to strike terror in the hearts and minds of the infidel than during your holy month? I mean, that's religion. That's somebody that takes it seriously. I don't know if the left does. Wow. New York needs to fall. It is a must. That's what Talha Haroon, a 19-year-old U.S. citizen living in Pakistan, said. Fortunately, Haroon made the proclamation to an undercover agent, and now all three men have been busted on terror charges. 3 men. In the spring of 2016, Abdulrahman El Banaswasawi. I love pronouncing it. I'm going to get good at pronouncing these Arab names. I really am. And I've talked about this before. How are we going to keep up with these guys? Everybody's got Al-Bakha, how will we know? And they all got it's tough to recognize people anyway. You throw a beard on them, all that hair, man, it's like they all look the same. It's the same mugshot. Kevin, pick out the perp. Can I hear him talk? I want to kill all infidels. I'm not sure. Okay, next guy. I want to kill all infidels. Eyewitnesses, they say eyewitness testimony is very unreliable because you just don't notice stuff. And I don't know. I'm just saying I can't pick these guys out of a lineup. I'm not going to lie. I just don't have that. I can't put that face together with all that facial hair and all that stuff, man. They all look the same. They all look like Baghdadi or whatever. Now, I do know, what's his face? The one that we killed? Osama bin Laden, that Obama shot. Yeah, I can pick him out. But I can't pick most of those guys out, man. They all look the same. Too easy to change their appearance. Anyway, this guy's name is Abdul Rahman El Banasawi. Banasawi. I'll get it. 19-year-old Canadian. And Haroon, our guy, the U.S. guy, began planning the attack over messaging apps with an undercover posing as an ISIS supporter. So that's how we got him. Then they say they were getting help from Russell Salik, a 37-year-old living in the Philippines who wired money to the U.S. to fund the attack. Now there's a potential ruse right there. We all convert, to radical Islam, get our Islamic names. We say to the governments of all these foreign, they're already ripping us off on oil, right? Don't be looking at me like I'm doing something so conspiratorial. My producers, y'all, you better get some backbones. So here's my thing, audience. I'm not talking to you guys. Look, so we all get our Arab names, okay? And then we let people know that we are down for the cause, and we start getting them to send us money. Sounds like a plan to me. And so we tell them we're plotting, and we all get together and we go to, I don't know, not Starbucks, but we find us a conservative coffee shop, and we go there and we plot. And all we do is plot. We act like liberals. And when they say, "Why have you not done anything for us? What is the problem? We've sent hundreds of thousands of dollars, and we're in committee." We're in committee, and we are forming a new committee to understand why we have not yet done anything for you. Please send more money. Oh man, I want to do this now. I'm serious. Who's gonna help me start this? If I didn't think that Trump would arrest me by accident, Kev, we thought you were Kev, we thought you were down. Kev, this is huge. You got to go to jail. I can't help you. You got to go. Kev, look what you did. Come on now. But Mr. Trump, President.
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show. This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
Welcome back, everybody. Kevin Jackson here. It's the Kevin Jackson Show. A while back, we talked about liberalism and its dangers, and I gave specific examples. It's been a long time ago. And I want to talk about it today because we covered the California latest legislation signed into law by Jerry Brown that essentially said if you have HIV, you can pass it along, no big deal. And they say now that the antivirals and the drugs are so good, it's no longer a death sentence. Nobody cares. Okay, whatever. And they don't even have to tell you if they donate blood that they have HIV. Now, I don't know how they tested, but I will tell you this. If I'm hurt in California, put me on what do they call those, medevacs? Medevac me over to a surrounding state. I don't want blood in California. Oh, Kevin, you're a homophobic. No, I'm not. I'm an HIV-ophobic. I don't want your blood. Unless you test for HIV and you can tell me with certain, there are people that store, and during the whole thing, they would store their own blood. You can only store your blood for so long. You can't store it. It's not like it keeps forever. So there are people that go and store their own blood. They're like, if I get in a wreck, no, sorry, you better don't use nobody else's blood. So I don't blame them. That doesn't make you homophobic. That makes you smart. But I couldn't believe they passed that law. And then, and we'll talk about this another time, but they passed a law that you got to talk with certain pronouns or you could go to jail. We'll talk about that stuff. This is crazy California. Liberalism, folks, is dangerous to your health. Look at Weinstein's story and tell me liberalism's not dangerous. The most powerful liberals in the country surrounding this guy. Media. Everybody knowing what he's doing and turning a blind eye. Why? Because he makes good films. He seems like he gives money to our charities. He gives money to all these liberal causes. He's got to be a good guy. Let me tell you something, folks. Liberals hide behind their good deeds. They don't do them because they want to do good deeds. They do them so that they can be allowed to do all the nonsense that they really want to do. That's why they do it. Yeah, I mean, I'm not letting you in on anything you don't already know, I would think. Liberalism is dangerous. One of the talking points that was used to pass Obama's health care bill was the number 45,000. The number of Americans who supposedly die each year due to a lack of health insurance. But far more people are killed each year, folks, by liberals. I guarantee you. Blood flows on the highways every year because of liberals and some of the things that they did, and they completely dismiss it. In 1975, Congress decided to take action to the 1973 oil embargo by enacting what they call the Corporate Average Fuel Economy program. It's called CAFE. And the goal of the program was to lower our independence on foreign oil. And because I don't know if you guys were, some of you were, many of you were. I remember waiting in these gas lines with my grandparents. It was silly. We'd wait there and creep up a little bit here and there. Everybody turn their engines off because you want to waste gas. You fill up, and everybody didn't get to fill up. I'll never forget it. So they didn't like that feeling, so we passed the CAFE standards, and it worked because thousands of motorists have had their need for foreign oil reduced because of the legislation, because they're dead. See, a 1999 USA Today analyst took note of the data and estimated from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and Institute for Highway Safety, and then he found that in the years since the CAFE standards were mandated under the Interstate Policy and Conservation Act of 1975, about 46,000 people have died in crashes that could have survived if they had been traveling in a bigger, heavier car. That's it. Liberals want us to believe that 45,000 people dying from a lack of health insurance is enough reason to enact a massive health care reform, but at the same time, they refuse to consider lowering the CAFE standard because they want to make them stricter, in fact, and that's going to result in more deaths. I don't know if you've seen these smart cars. They're pretty small. When I was in Paris, and I knew this already, but you go there, and these cars are little. Now, they have some luxury cars, but most of the cars are postage stamp cars. They're to get you to and from the post office or to and from, a restaurant or some district. These cars, if they're 10 feet long, how long are these cars? They got to be 7 feet, 8 feet long. They're so tiny. You've seen them. If that car rams into the back of somebody, you're dead. If somebody rams you in the back, you're dead. It's nothing. Look, I'm not going to belabor the point. You get what I'm saying. We used to have these big old deuce and a quarters. Diamond in the back, sunroof top, digging the scene with my gangster lean. Big old Lincoln Continentals and Cadillacs. And you didn't get hurt. Now, look, I'm not saying don't go make some strides and take weight out of the car. I think that's the evolution of everything, right? We've made TVs small enough to carry. A 56-inch TV, enough to be put up on your or 60-inch, put up on your wall for a home theater. Heck, you can practically fold that thing up and stick it in your pocket. I mean, we've done it. 50 pounds a TV weighs now. Man, I remember I bought a big Sony one time. And if I'm lying, I'm dying. That TV must have weighed 300 pounds. It took 3 dudes to get that TV. And I remember we got to the second floor and my friends were like, dude, we got to go another floor? It's like, yep. Anyway, thousands of people killed because of cafe standards. 2,000 people die a year, estimate, because of cafe standards. And liberals don't concern themselves at all. They're justifiable deaths because it's all to save the planet from the ravages of global climate insanity, right? I talked the other day when we were talking about this HIV thing that leftists, they are the reason that 1 million people died of AIDS versus, I don't know, a few 100,000. They're the reason. And I gave you the numbers. In 1983, there were 1,500 cases of AIDS diagnosed in America, but the rate of infection was doubling every month. And the gay rights community started this campaign of intimidation. They didn't want you to label AIDS as sexually transmitted because it was only being given out by guys. Guys were getting it. Gay guys. So they said, don't do that. And they started a whole program around it. Sex doesn't cause AIDS. A virus does. And so suddenly the marketing of AIDS was that, no, it's not them. It's not their lifestyle. So gay bathhouses continue to operate. Men were having unprotected sex with up to 10 men a night. Liberals were concerned about the political backlash of these facts. It was easier to blame Ronald Reagan for committing genocide against gay people by not funding AIDS research than it was to close the bathhouses. Than it was to say to young gay men, look, you're the reason this is spreading. You gotta stop. It was too politically incorrect for them to talk about what was really going on in their community, so they chose to sacrifice over 1 million men. And now we lose, 14,000, 15,000 people a year to AIDS, a disease we knew nothing about years ago. I mean, in terms of, it wasn't like mainstream. How many lives could they have saved? What about black on black liberalism? So 70% of kids born to blacks are illegitimate. It wasn't always like this, though. In 1880, Philadelphia, 75% of black families had 2 parents. New York, circa 1925, illegitimacy rate among blacks, 15%. By 1940, the rate was still only 19%. And when liberals took action in the 1960s, the illegitimacy rate was 22%. But this intervention had dire consequences in the black community. The lack of a father has a profound effect on a child. And Glenn Sachs said this: you're 5 times more important in predicting teen use, drug use, than any other sociological factor, including income and race. Having a father. But today, black males make up almost half the prison population. Of all the murders in 2007, 43% were black. Close to 93% of the time, blacks kill other blacks, but they don't want to take credit for this. 40 years of lives have done what 400 years of slavery couldn't do, destroyed the black family. Thomas Sowell said it: the black family, which survived slavery, discrimination, poverty, wars, depression, began to come apart as the federal government began programs to help. How many blacks have died because of lack of fathers in their children's lives? Huh? Thousands, I guarantee you. We'll be back.
Kevin Jackson on the Black Sphere Radio Network.
Do you owe back taxes to the IRS or state? The secret to avoiding the IRS nightmare is to seek professional representation. My friends at Security Tax Associates provide the most cost-effective and ethical representation in the industry while helping to avoid seizures, levies, and wage garnishments. Security Tax Associates is here to ensure that the appropriate steps are taken to permanently eliminate any possibility of future tax burdens once and for all. For a free, no-obligation consultation, contact Security Tax Associates, 844-779-4177. That's 844-779-4177. 844-779-4177. Or visit them at securitytaxassociates.com.
putting an end to identity politics. This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
Welcome back, everybody. There are some stories you get that are just hysterical. And I have one of those stories. And it has to do with this black dude who's being interviewed by a reporter. And it's a local Fox News reporter. And you got to hear this dialogue because you can see this guy has no clue where to go. He's a white guy interviewing a black dude at a rally of some sort. It's like a anti, whatever, pro Black Lives Matter. You'll see. Just listen to the clip, and then we'll dissect the clip.
Tell me what you want to say. You're talking in Philadelphia right now.
Hey, what up, Philly? I don't got no family out there, but I love y'all black people. Okay. White people is hypocrites. Okay. They're barbaric. Okay?
You said kill all white people. You really feel
No,
that?
I didn't. I said white lives don't matter. See, that's your white. That's your white. What they call it?
Well, do you really,
yellow journalism. But this is live.
Let me ask you this. Do you really believe that white lives don't matter?
Of course. I'm not a liar like you. You just lied on me on live TV. Is this really live?
This is live TV.
Live TV, Black Power. Black Power, white lives do not matter.
You told
white lives don't matter.
We don't give a voice.
I didn't say that. When did I say that? Why you lying?
White lives don't matter. So guys,
So
tell us just the scene around there. Is it peaceful?
White lives don't matter. You want to know?
It is peaceful for the most part. Obviously, people here are still upset.
Welcome back, everybody. Wow. I love it. If you think the audio is funny, you have to see this clip. Oh my gosh. This dude is hysterical. It's like, that saying, like, find the most stupid dude. Yo, hey, you, come here. I'd like to interview. Yo, hey, what's up, Philly? What's up with y'all? It was one of those deals. But the guy really, he gets them. So let's just dissect it for a bit, okay? Because this is what I was telling you guys. I said, these are the people that are out there. These are your run-of-the-mill, day-to-day, ordinary, a much bigger number than you think of black folks who believed like this guy. What's up, Philly? I don't have a whole lot of family out there, nothing, but I love all y'all black people. White people is hypocrites and you're barbaric. That's what he said. He professes his. I want you just to stop for 1 minute, a second, flip it, and ask yourself, they bit some old homeboy, some white dude, and we'll make him country for this, okay? And he's like, I tell you what, I ain't got no people up there in Philly, nothing, but I tell you what, I love all the white people up there. What's up, white people? Good for y'all, yeah. And he goes, but black people, y'all are hypocrites and you're barbarians. And I would love to see how that one played. What would he be accused? Look, do I have to go there with you? Okay. Here, take my hand. I'm going to take you there. He would be called a racist. He'd be called Aryan Nation, Hitler, not neo-Nazi, whatever. But this black dude says it. And he says it knowing he's getting cred. There are white people out there going, dude, they won't even let him speak. He called the guy a liar. He's already putting words in his mouth, man. Listen, the guy's just saying what he believes. He hates white people, and white lives don't matter because white people are barbaric and you're hypocrites. Yeah, said the white dude. And the guy's like, you said kill the black people. He's like, I didn't say it. I ain't say that. Because he didn't. He hadn't said that. He said white lives don't matter. Now, you can extrapolate that into a lot of things. Kill white? I don't know. I don't care. What he's saying is, I said, I don't care about your life. The only people I care about are black. These are the people that I call ethnocentric black racist. By the way, you can be an ethnocentric racist of all ethnicities. So, for example, I have friends, oh my gosh, you go to their house. We usually go over there during the holidays, and they're Puerto Rican. And holy cow, before you even hit the door, you know, you about to into Puerto Rico, baby. Come in, papi. I mean, It is like Puerto Rico Central. You become an honorary Boricua. And the next thing you know, man, you don't even know how to dance salsa, and you're dancing it. You're like, you're rolling your R's. You feel like Carmen Sandiego up in that bad boy. No Mexican music, no Spanish music. Puerto Rican, they got, Tito Fuentes and whatever. I don't know if that's I think he's Puerto Rican. But it's all Puerto Ricans. That's all I can tell you. And they know all the songs and all the words to all the songs. And everything that you do is an homage to Puerto Rico. If you bring salsa, salsa tastes better if you have it in San Juan. It's like, oh God. And I'm going to tell you, I'm not a fan of Puerto Rican food. They wrap it in these banana leaves or whatever. I'm not a fan of it. And they're like, Kevin, this is authentic Puerto Rican food, my friend. And I'm like, I don't like it. You don't like costacayo? No, I don't. I don't like it. It tastes nasty. It's like a main food for us. Well, enjoy. Just more for you. I'm just going to sit here with my salsa. It's so over the top. It's over the top. And if somebody did something as a Puerto Rican to do it better, I'm just saying, look, I get it. Now, they're not so bad where, you're like over there and they're like, Kevin, black people don't got no place here. It's not like that. It isn't like this guy who says white lives don't matter. No, it's not that. But it's not close to that. I'm not even going to go there. And it's fun to watch. I'm happy that there's a part of me that goes, you know what? I'm so happy they're so happy to be Puerto Rican. Somebody's got to be. But at the cost of other people, this fool. That's yellow journalism. You tell me I want to kill white folks. No, he's alluding to the idea that if you don't care about other lives, then you probably don't care if they live or die. Guy says white lives don't matter. Black power. The whole time the guy's on black power. Black power. Yeah. Black power. White lives don't matter. He keeps saying, white lives don't matter. You hear him in the background. And what's fun, so here's what's going on with this video. So the people at the control room can sense that this has gone sideways. I mean, this is not a good interview. So they keep, so Bill, why don't you ask him? Well, I tell you what. So finally, the man anchor gets a word in. He says, well, I tell you, Bill, is it peaceful there? And the look that this guy gives, I swear, it's so priceless. He's like, yeah, it's peaceful. There are people who want to hurt me and everything because I am white. He doesn't say that, but he might as well. He is like this close. Fingers are close together. He's this close to thinking something could get set off here, and these people do not care about my color in a good way. That's what he's thinking. Yes, it is peaceful, because he doesn't want to tell you the truth. What he should have said is, right now, things are okay, but I got to tell you, this is a volatile situation. You just heard this young man who doesn't seem to care about any other lives except black lives. So I don't think they care that I'm here in an official capacity or anything. And now he considers me a liar, et cetera, et cetera. I'm just telling you, these types of things are so funny to me, and they validate what I've been saying, what I said on TV. Black people are taught to be racist. So recently, and I'm trying to figure out, I haven't looked at the story, but I saw the headline. The rapper Nelly has been accused of raping a woman on a tour bus. I don't know whether the lady said, yeah, I'll ride with you guys to the next stop. But she gets on and apparently accuses Nelly of rape. And I'm not surprised by it. I know a lot about Nelly being from St. Louis. He invited friends of mine to come down to his basement to his stripper pole, and they weren't strippers. So that'll give you an idea. I mean, that was his rap to get them to come over. So, but long story short, there are people that responded to the allegations of Nelly raping this woman who I believe is white. And they said something along the lines of, it's impossible for Nelly to be raping his oppressor. Something like that. There are people saying that it's a black man can't rape a white woman because, it would be like getting even with your oppressor. Something along those lines. And I was thinking to myself, whoever thinks with that logic is a barbarian. That's just silly. Like this idea that black people can't be powerful, can't be racist because we don't have power. I got to leave it there.
He won't stop until he's the top-rated radio talk show host in America.
What kind of weird competitive freak are you?
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.